In the heart of the Venetian Republic, during the tumultuous years following the Reformation, a child was born into nobility, not destined for grandeur in politics or war, but for a far greater calling. His name was Gregory Barbarigo, and he would become one of the most influential bishops and reformers of the 17th century church. Born on September 16, 1625, in Venice, Gregory was the son of the noble Barbarigo family. His father, Giovanni Francesco Barbarigo, was a prominent statesman, and from an early age, young Gregory was immersed in the world of classical education, diplomacy, and Christian virtue, but it wasn't merely politics and learning that shaped Gregory's soul. His early experiences would sow the seeds of a lifelong mission of service, compassion, and reform. At the age of 20, Gregory accompanied the Venetian ambassador to the negotiations at Munster that would lead to the historic Peace of Westphalia in 1648, an agreement that ended the devastating 30 Years' War. There, he impressed even Pope Innocent X with his piety and intellectual acumen. It was during these years, surrounded by the ruins of war and the fragile hopes of peace, that Gregory began to sense a deeper call, not to serve emperors, but to serve the Prince of Peace. Returning to Venice, Gregory entered the priesthood and was ordained in 1655. His brilliance in theology and canon law, combined with his humility, soon drew the attention of the papal court. In 1657, Pope Alexander VII, who had known Gregory at Munster, appointed him Bishop of Bergamo, a difficult diocese still reeling from post-Reformation turmoil. In Bergamo, Gregory embraced the vision of the Council of Trent, committing himself to the renewal of the clergy, the formation of seminarians, and care for the poor and sick. He founded seminaries, enforced ecclesiastical discipline with kindness and wisdom, and was tireless in visiting the remotest corners of his diocese. In 1660, he was elevated to the College of Cardinals, and just 2 years later, appointed Bishop of Padua, a diocese renowned for its university and intellectual tradition, but in need of pastoral revival. Padua would become the crowning field of his apostolic labors. In Padua, Cardinal Barbarigo built a seminary hailed as one of the finest in Europe. He insisted that priests be not only educated but formed in holiness. He visited parishes personally, taught catechism to children, and provided relief to plague victims and the destitute. A true shepherd, he led not from above, but from within the flock. Gregory was deeply influenced by Saint Charles Borromeo, whose model of episcopal life he followed. Like Borromeo, he believed that holiness in the Church began with holy bishops. His devotion to the Eucharist, his fidelity to daily prayer, and his unwavering charity became the foundation of his ministry. When a famine struck the region, he sold much of his own possessions to feed the hungry. During times of plague, he personally tended to the sick. He was known not just for his wisdom, but for his gentleness, humility, and peace. Though considered a strong candidate in several papal conclaves, Gregory declined to pursue the papacy. He remained steadfast in his pastoral duties, more concerned with the salvation of souls than the politics of Rome. On June 18, 1697, after decades of tireless service, Gregory Barbarigo passed into eternity in Padua. He was mourned by rich and poor alike, remembered as a father, a shepherd, a saint. He was beatified by Pope Clement XIII in 1761, and canonized by Pope John XI in 1960, who praised him as a great model for bishops. In an age of confusion and change, Saint Gregory Barbarigo stood firm, a beacon of holiness, education, and reform. His legacy endures in every soul that seeks truth, every priest formed in love, and every bishop who walks with his people. Saint Gregory Barbarigo, pray for us. In the early